Kingdom people, they are in turmoil because they cannot figure you out. Whoa. God hit me with that. And I was just like, whoa. These people are trying to figure you out. And it's literally disturbing them, troubling them. They are going through all this inner turmoil because they can't figure you out. And my thing is always when people are trying to figure you out, so much so that they're troubled, that they're distraught, they have all this anxiety and turmoil going on. I'm like, who ever said everybody could be figured out? Whoever said you are supposed to be able to be figured out? Why do these people think that it's their job to figure you out? It's the weirdest thing to me. And I understand now. I understand this better now. Reason being is because I had to be reminded of how these people are accustomed to manipulating people, controlling people, playing games. Because see, they watch and study people. They watch for their weaknesses. They even watch for their strength. So they'll know how to strike, how to plot, how to trap. And so what has happened for these people in particular, kind of people, they can't see no weaknesses with you. Because at this point, you handle yourself in such a way where these people, you wouldn't let on to anything that you working through, going through, that you got going on. Not these people. And for these other people that may have known you like that, you don't have those weaknesses anymore. And overall, God has built you up. Because one thing that I've learned, God is not going to allow people to hit you in their mind where you're weak at, where it causes you some destruction. God is your protector. And I'm just hearing, if God be for you, who dare be against you? And so going back to what I was saying, these people are so accustomed to studying people, figuring them out, I guess, to the extent that they do, and just do their little plan and they plot, execute it, and boom, they have another win in their mind that they're not having with you. And here's the thing. These people thought they had figured you out. They watched you, studied you, see how you move, see how you operate, see how you, whatever they could see from watching you and studying you. And they executed a plan over and over and over and over and over and over based on their findings. And kingdom people, ain't none of their executions turn out the way they wanted them to. It didn't give them no wins. They're not getting wins with you. Their plans and plots are failing, falling miserably, falling to the ground. It all comes to nothing. I just heard it all blows up in smoke. And so that's confusing to them. They like, they go back to the drawing board from where they studied you and said, but he do this, he do that, he did this, he go through. Well, they really trying to figure you out, and it's so disturbing to them, kind of people. Listen, they're in turmoil. Do you know how obsessive a person has to be, or invested, should I say, a person has to be in executing your downfall, so to speak, a plan, a trap, that so much so that if it's because it's not working out the way they want to, it's causing them they're in inner turmoil, like they're literally disturbed. I'm hearing their spirits are vexed. And what it is, kingdom people, they didn't came up on God's anointed. They didn't came up on somebody that, listen, what they learning is God's power is bigger than theirs, because they know God is with you. they feel like your power is bigger than theirs. And here's the thing about that. They try to even study that. But the thing about these people, they only can study so much because it's so much they don't see. And that's where people always go wrong. People try, when you on boo-boo, on some mess, trying to cause harm to somebody, trip them up, you know what I'm saying, hinder somebody, any of those kind of things. When you know, thinking you looking at the information and the data to come up, you know, conjure up your plan to bring harm to them or cause them destruction, what always mess them up is what they don't know. It's a whole lot they don't know. People can watch you and study you from sun up to sun down, and it's still something they don't know. And that's the part that get them. That's the part that always mess them up, because you can't know everything. And as I've already said, these people in particular, you already know who they are, what they are. So you're not giving them anything to go on. You're not helping them. So all they get is what they're able to see or detect on their own from the outside, that is. And so, again, that's limited. And it's what they don't know what mess them up. So, kingdom people, they trying to figure you out, and they can't. They realize it too. Obviously, that they can't figure you out, and it's so disturbing, and it brings them turmoil because it gives them a sense of the unknown. It gives them a feeling of being powerless and out of control, which they are, because they're using the wrong powers, trying to anyway. While they've used them on others and have succeeded with them, if we're going to call that succeeding, where for them it's a win for them when they can bring somebody down. The thing is, that's not happening for them with you. And so, yeah, it's like it throws them off of their equilibrium. They're very much so disoriented right now. They don't know whether they come or going. They are literally going cuckoo right now. They're very unstable. And here's the thing, kingdom people, these people were already somewhat unstable. I'm going to say somewhat. But now that they can't figure you out, now that they done tried all these plans and plots and all this, and it's been backfired, it ain't working, this is something different, it really caused them to be so unstable. I'm hearing a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. They don't know whether they coming or going, whether they in or out. And it's another part of that, being double-minded. These people admire you and hate you at the same time. How double-minded is that? But they only hate you because they're not you. Or they don't have what you have. They can't do what you do. They need to want to beat. Well, we ain't going to go there. Let me get out of there. They're double-minded because they admire you. They like what they see. They won't even beat what they see in you. But they hate you. How you think you gonna have something and be something that you hate? Even in what they so-called destiny swapping, trying to even mimic you. That's a form of destiny swapping too, by the way. When people think they're gonna mimic you and do you and look how you look and dress how you dress and walk how you walk, they think if they do those things, they'll have what you have. They'll be who you are. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it don't work like that. But you hate it. They hate you. So how can you be trying to be what you hate? That you jealous of, that you mad of, that you can slander and talk stuff about. What? You want to be the very thing you can't stand? If that ain't double-minded, listen, I don't know what is. But kingdom people, they can't figure you out, and it has them in a lot of inner turmoil. They feel lost. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I've been in places in the past, specifically in my personal experience, coming out of a situation with a narcissist. Honey, when I came out of that situation with that narcissist, it was foggy. It was like, what had happened? What? Listen. That's how these people feel. They in a fog. Don't nothing look clear. It's just everything just blurry and fun. And they don't know how to Everything just off. It's a horrible feeling. That's why it's turmoil, inner turmoil. And it's a mental turmoil as well. Because if you in your head trying to figure somebody out, like I like to say, how you gonna be in your head trying to figure somebody out? How you gonna be in your head, this a big one, trying to know what somebody making, calculating their money in your head? If you don't know, because you have evidence or you have the information, or, you know, whether someone telling you or you didn't, whatever. If you don't know, you can't figure it out. You can't calculate somebody's money just by being in your head. Saying, okay, but she got this, he got this, he go do this, he lead it. That ain't gonna get you no figures, no dollar amounts. And that's part of why they're mentally in bondage, is what I'm hearing, in mental turmoil. Because you in your head trying to figure somebody out, trying to calculate their moves, their money, where they at, who did it, how they able to do, in your head. Letting the devil, if we're going to put it on him, but at this point, a lot of these people, this is them at this point, because they done gave themselves over to the devil. The devil done already did what he gonna do, and he gone somewhere else. They on their own, just all tripped out now, because this is who they've become. Prayerfully they'll come out of that and become who God called them to be. But kingdom people, listen, it's bad too. I can even remember at one point in time when I was dealing with that person, before I came out of that situation, I can remember being like, at the time, I knew something wasn't right, and I would be watching his stuff on Facebook in particular, and I can remember just being so mentally engrossed in what I was doing that I could feel that this is off. But I was able to identify that, and that was when I was knowing, this is not healthy, this is not good. And I had to, piece by piece, get myself together, get my mind right, remove myself from that situation. And it was hard, but I had to do it. I knew this is not good. Matter of fact, I knew that was a situation trying to take me out. I realized so was he. So anyway, point is, I know that feeling, probably not to the extent that they are in it, because I wasn't like trying to harm nobody. I was just trying to understand what a person was doing, that I was in a, whatever you want to call it, with, that I used to be married to, but I don't even like talking about it. That's why I'm good at, I gloss over that part. But anyway, I wanted to know what was going on, and I found out. And so, and I don't regret it, because listen, but anyway, point is, I know that mental, I just heard fatigue, that mental, turmoil, because it felt horrible. Your man just focused on trying to understand, figure out, and see, and then you find something in this lies. I'm disturbed. I'm like, oh boy, now I gotta come. It was a mess. And as I said, when I got out of that situation, it was foggy. I had just, my nervous system was so, I had to get myself together. And it was only by the grace of God that I recovered. It was God who restored me, who healed me. Anyway, point is, if you know anything about any of what I just said in any way, shape, or form, just understand it's worse than that for them. You know why? Because they're operating in darkness in a way where they're doing dark things, trying to call dark things on others, trying to cause others harm. So they get it 100 times worse. When you're trying to harm somebody with all this darkness, it's different when you in darkness in a sense where you just don't understand, or you don't know, and you trying to figure it out, coming to the light, coming to the awareness of what it is. And what you come into the awareness of is a dark thing. And so, yeah, it has an effect on you, but God uses it to birth you into your new, into the, to bring you out, to deliver you, to bring you out of that darkness, or that dark relationship, if you will, or whatever it may be for you. But the point is this, kingdom people, listen. It's bad. It's 100 times worse for them because they don't have the capacity, I want to say ability, and I hate to use that word, but that's what I'm getting, to come out of it and stop it. So because they just stay in that place, the turmoil never ends. They don't even have a desire to come out. Unfortunately, prayerfully, a prayer hit them, and you know what I'm saying? Something will happen prayerfully for those who can be redeemed, of course, because it's some that yeah. Anyway, and that's horrible. That's synonymous to burning in hell, so to speak, somewhat, not completely synonymous, but you get what I'm saying? When you just constantly in this state of inner turmoil and and don't come out, it's just always your condition, your state. Like, that has got to be horrible. Well, kingdom people, that's a horrible state that they're in. They are in turmoil. And it's bad because they can't figure you out.